Welcome everyone to this morning's CPD for Geosciences sessions. It's nice to see a couple of familiar faces, familiar names in the chat, in the participant list. Bear with me, this is my first time conducting this workshop for us. Previous years, Tanya Marshall has been doing a phenomenal job getting the message across. If you did join last year, it will be very similar to last year's presentation. However, one of the main differences is that we will be going through how to log the CPD points on the new GSSA system. If you have not yet checked out the new GSSA website, please do that. As a member, you have access to everything that's available on the website, and it's looking a lot nicer. We're still building on it, so there's still a work in progress, but very easy to log your points through the system also. I would like to just remind everyone just to keep yourselves muted and your cameras off. At this point, I'll also turn my camera off just to spare bandwidth and electricity for my part. And also ensure that you name yourself correctly in the chat box there, and we'll actually talk a little bit about that as we go along. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat box there. I will get to them if I see them pop up while we go along. I'll address it. Alternatively, we will have a break in the middle as well as at the end to address any questions. Any questions I am not able to answer sufficiently, I will get back to you on that. So, as I said, bear with me. Let's see how we go. And yeah, let's get started. All right. So, continuing professional development, what is it? Essentially, it is one of the fundamental pillars of professionalism, not just in the geosciences, but in pretty much every vocation. So why is that the case? Our knowledge cannot be static. If we don't keep up with what's happening in our field of practice throughout our working life, we will fall behind and become irrelevant. I know sometimes it can seem like a little bit of a chore to get this done, and we know we are constantly upskilling ourselves in various ways. It's just the administration behind it to ensure that we remain compliant within our field. So that's a nice little statement there from Hoffer. In times of change, the learners shall inherit the earth. The learned find themselves beautifully prepared to deal with a world that no longer exists. So again, this is not just an administrative action that we go through. It's something that we really need to focus on and ensure that we are keeping up with the times for our personal development. So the key features. CPD is a term used to describe the learning activities that professionals take part in to develop and enhance their skills. So this includes various workshops, informal learning opportunities, or different vocational education, which helps to expand your knowledge or your new skills. So it also refers to the process of tracking and documenting these skills through various platforms to gain both formally and informal work experience beyond any initial training. So CPD kicks in after you have received your first formal learning qualification, if I can put it that way. So your first degree. So essentially CPD is logging these things that you go through as a logbook. So your goal is personal development. It is self-directed. It's driven by you, not your employer or your registration authority. So not by us or SACNASP. The onus is on you to make sure that you comply with what you need to be doing to enable to keep yourself up to date. Where your employer can assist financially, they are not going to set these things up for you. So again, it includes both formal and informal learning, and it helps you set your development goals and objectives throughout your career. It does help to have a planned program throughout your working life, and this helps you keep up to date with the latest advancements in your field of practice. So again, the goal is personal development, not just simply collecting the CPD points. So CPD is required by us at the GSSA as part of our code of ethics, which is provided to you as incumbent members. Demonstrating your CPD record is not currently a requirement of GSSA membership. It is recommended for all professionals. So your CPD record, you don't have to keep your record of CPD points if you're a member of the GSSA. However, if you are applying, or if you have become a chartered geologist under our chartered status for the GSSA as a competent person, you are required to keep up with your CPD record. And so CPD is implicit in all international geoethics codes and related geoscience professional codes. So whether you are a chartered scientist with the GSSA or a professional natural scientist with SACNASP, you have to keep your CPD points up to date. Right. Even more fundamental than that, however, is that CPD is contained in all of the international geoethics codes. Sorry, as I mentioned, pretty much every professional geoscience organization has a similar clause, either requiring it for membership or having it as a highly recommended activity. So for SACNASP, they introduced the concept of CPD for candidates in 2021. This became formally operational from April in 2022. So this means that professionals registered with SACNASP must complete CPD activities over a 5-year cycle to stay compliant and to renew their professional registration. Again, in order to maintain your registration with SACNASP specifically, you'll be required to collect these CPD points. The policy is also applicable to all persons who are registered as candidate natural scientists. So this is the status before you can become a professional natural scientist. Candidates will need to meet their annual CPD targets as part of the registrations process to upgrade to higher categories. So how do we do this? SACNASP registered GSSA members can choose to record your CPD points on either the GSSA or SACNASP systems and will be mutually recognized by the other organization. Because the GSSA is a voluntary association associated with SACNASP, we have been able to make an arrangement whereby it doesn't matter where you log your points, compliance with one system is deemed to be compliance with the other. So if you log your points with the GSSA, you don't have to log your points with SACNASP and vice versa. You can choose where to log your credits, and I will go through this as we go along to make sure that the systems are talking to each other. So yes, essentially the GSSA and SACNASP have signed a memorandum of understanding to make compliance easier and to avoid the duplication of your efforts. So SACNASP, a bit of background here, SACNASP has had to cater for a wide range of scientists. So SACNASP covers everything. It's a very generic system with the focus. It started with a focus on scientists working in laboratories. So they were providing very generic science-based events where scientists could obtain their CPD points. It's only been recently that most organizations have come up with their own version of CPD to tailor it to their specific working environment and the skills that are needed. But it works for SACNASP if they have the MOUs with all of these professional organizations, showing the broad correlation where compliance with one system is deemed to be the other. So although there are many elements common to both classifications, the GSSA and SACNASP systems are completely different in the way that they allocate points. And that's saying it's not possible to simply transpose this information or the credits from one system to another. As in, credits obtained from one system cannot simply be reflected in the other. So if you log your points through the GSSA, the individual points won't automatically reflect on the SACNASP website. Again, the choice is up to you to log your points, the credits through the GSSA or through SACNASP. Each system has a standalone structure, and a combination of the two is not allowed. So if you start with SACNASP for the 5-year cycle, you'll need to continue with SACNASP going forward for that particular cycle, and same with the GSSA. It's not that one is right and the other one is wrong. They are both equally acceptable to both the GSSA and SACNASP. you need to decide for yourself which suits your specific circumstances better. Each system is a standalone system, again, and you can't combine them. And as I mentioned earlier, you can change after the 5-year period. Just for the SACNASP summary, this is a 5-year CPD cycle. So the first one started from April 2022 and will go up until March 2027. So we have just about a year to comply within this cycle, within this SACNASP cycle. Everything then reverts to zero on renewal of your registration, and then the following cycle begins. So you need to complete a certain number of CPD activities over a 5-year cycle to stay compliant and to be able to renew your registration. If your account is fully paid and your CPD is up to date, the registration will be automatically renewed as normal. If there is no activity on the CPD account, you will also be renewed, but you will likely get a reminder to get your CPD up to date. So there are 3 categories in which to claim these credits, which we'll go through now. And we need to, for SACNASP specifically, CPD credits need to be obtained in at least 2 of the 3 categories. At least 1 credit per year from category 1. This is where the differences start between the SACNASP system and GSSA. The GSSA system is a little bit more flexible because we do understand the nuances of the working environment. Just on the right here, I have Mr. Toby Mzobe, who is our contact there at SACNASP. If you do have any questions for Toby on the SACNASP side, please feel free to reach out to him and he will be able to assist. I will post his details into the chat at a point also. All right, so category 1 for SACNASP. These are compulsory activities per year. So you cannot claim more than 5 category 1 credits in the 5-year cycle. Even if you do, it will not reflect. So during the 5-year cycle, your credits are cumulative for category 1 activities. In-house events are not allowed. You still need to be validated through SACNASP by the company. So this includes your formal technical courses, workshops, conferences, lectures, seminars. This includes online events, especially since COVID. So as I mentioned, all events are subject to validation by SACNASP, and they need to be accompanied by a certificate of attendance that you will need to upload. So for this category 1 for SACNASP, 1 credit is equivalent to a full day event. So the way SACNASP works is it's 0.1 credits per hour. For category 1 activities, all of the GSSA, SIAMM, and SAM codes courses are automatically accredited for CPD points because of the MOU we have. So any courses run by tertiary institutions or government departments is automatically accredited because it's done by them. All other bodies, such as private companies or PCOs, would need to have the contents of every event they provide in this category accredited through SACNASP. So how it works is for these particular events, for outside third parties, this accreditation needs to be done before the event, and they will receive a certificate of validation for that event. It's typically not a problem for South African conference organizers. It's often not done by international conferences, but there is a way around this. You can contact us to get these external courses accredited through SACNASP beforehand. So once validated or accredited, the course will need to be uploaded to the SACNASP site, and this is generally available after completion of the event. So for GSSA course accreditation, GSSA or SAM codes courses are available on the website after the event has taken place. So we need to provide a delegate attendance list. This is the reason why I asked you at the beginning also to ensure that for these online meetings, that your name appears on the participant list and not just your phone name or half a name, not only for this delegate list to supply to SACNASP, but also for your certificate of attendance. That's why it's really, really important that you have your full name and surname listed here. I think I'm having a quick look at our list of participants. I think we're all fine here. Just ensure that is how you would like your name to reflect on your certificate at the end. All right. So if you find your a course that you completed is not listed on the SACNASP website, you can contact info@gssa.org.za. And for all other courses, you can, okay, let us not draw on the screen, please. I don't know how to remove that now. There you go. Okay. Just watch those controls there, folks. Thank you. So for all other courses, you can contact the course coordinator who set the course up or SACNASP directly. So yeah, your course will need to be registered on the SACNASP website in order for you to log CPD points against it. For the GSSA, it's a little bit different. We will go into that later. Okay, so category 2 for SACNASP, because SACNASP recognizes that much learning takes place on the job, under category 2A, you can claim CPD credits for simply going to work. So this category is obviously skewed in favor of those who are employed, which makes it a bit of a challenge, and this might disadvantage many geoscientists. This work is also restricted to science-related work, which may be a challenge for some in middle senior management positions. So that's for 2A, your science, your work-related points that you can claim. You can also claim points under 2B, which is mentoring of SACNASP candidates. So this is our candidate, part of the candidate mentorship that SACNASP generally runs. It's a formal mentoring program. It includes in-house skills training sessions organized by employer or scientific company and career guidance for candidates. We have not yet heard back from SACNASP for their formal candidate mentoring program at the moment. You may have, however, seen the first shift GSSA mentoring program that has been launched just at the end of the last month. So this year, so unfortunately for SACNASP, it's not a SACNASP accredited mentoring program, but we are still in the process of partnering up with them, and we may find a way around that if they have not yet gotten their program up and running as yet. All right, so category 3 for SACNASP are your individual activities. So these are, it's a membership of a recognized voluntary association. For example, the SIAMM, the GSSA. So you already get a credit there if you are a member. However, you don't automatically get this point through SACNASP. You still have to log it manually. So, and for GSSA, SIAMM, and SAIEG, you only get one per year. So even if you're a member of all of them, you will only get 1 credit per year for that. Under 3B, of individual activities, so this is 10 hours or a credit of maximum of 3 credits per year. All activities under this item must be verified through SACNASP. So this includes papers presented at a conference, publication in a peer-reviewed journal, publication of technical articles, completion of a postgraduate degree, and evaluation of MSc or PhD theses as an external examiner. So again, all of these activities, individual activities, need to be verified by SACNASP. Again, the GSSA system is a little bit different, but we will go into that. And you'll see now, so as I said, postgrad degree, it's a 5 credit once off. So remember I mentioned CPD only starts after your first formal learning, so your first degree. So any subsequent degree will count for 5 credits once off through SACNASP. In addition, lecturing and supervising of postgrad students, participation in technical committees or task groups, technical programs, evaluation of educational qualifications, evaluation of competence and applications for registration, and self-study, which includes but is not restricted to studying of journals or electric or computerized material. So again, all activities under this item must be verified through SACNASP. So it becomes a little bit of a tedious task through SACNASP to ensure if you want to get the maximum benefit under your category 3B activities. So these details for SACNASP are defined in the SACNASP policy, which the latest one is available on the website. I'm actually not sure if there has been a latest release further than March of 2020. I will double check that and let you know. So SACNASP does allow various exemptions and partial exemptions, obviously for retired people who are not working. If you are retired, it's not necessarily, important that you do keep up with your CPD, but I guess it's nice to do so, especially if you are doing potentially part-time work elsewhere. And so the other exemptions and dispensations do exist. So all of these exemptions are available on the SACNASP website. All right, so how to add your CPD points on the SACNASP website. I won't go into too much detail here because the system has been around for quite a while. But if you have any issues logging or struggles, please contact Toby, or you're welcome to contact myself also just for assistance. So you will log on to cpd.sacnasp.org.za and you will log in, you will sign in with your registration number. That's the number that you receive as you become a professional registered scientist, as well as your ID number. You will then be able to view your CPD portfolio, and you'll be able to edit your activities within that particular cycle. You can edit each year within that cycle. You can go back and edit a cycle whenever you like. You cannot, however, go back and edit for the previous cycle. So you have to make sure that you have edited completely for the most up-to-date cycle. So at the end of every 5 years, so the completion of a full CPD cycle, maintaining your registration will require 25 CPD points. This is specifically to the SACNASP system, which you should have accumulated by time of cycle completion. So you will not be issued your new registration if the 25 points have not been accumulated. However, those registered persons who are identified administratively as having not met the requirements will be advised accordingly that their deficient CPD record will be referred to the relevant professional advisory committee for a decision. So if there is activity on your CPD, your registration will be renewed. If there is little or no activity, SACNASP is going to require you to catch up and log your credits within a specified time. If you don't do that, the Act allows for SACNASP to deregister you as a professional natural scientist. So in the event of non-compliance, SACNASP may impose one of the following conditions. So they'll require you to follow an approved remedial program. And after that, the last course of action is removing you from the relevant register. So the objective of SACNASP is to encourage and enforce personal development, not to deregister scientist. So SACNASP will pretty much bend over backwards to ensure that to voluntarily get you up to date with your CPD points. So even if you are behind, as long as you can pretty much show that you are trying and you have a plan to get that up to date, SACNASP is quite lenient there. So this policy is applicable to all who are registered as candidate natural scientists. And your candidates will need to meet their annual CPD targets as part of the registrations process to upgrade to higher categories. So if you have registered as a candidate straight out of varsity, straight out of varsity, then it's easier to get used to tracking these CPD points as you go along, as you've started. So, sorry, this is still a nice picture of our old website, but we will go into the GSSA side of things now. So, oh wait, that's a lie. I think we're supposed to have a coffee and questions. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and just ask if we have any questions. I'm just opening the chat quickly. I don't see any. Oh wait, I do.
I have answered some of the questions.
Okay, Nolene's working in the background for me. Thank you, Nolene. So if we can just run through those. Thanks, Nolene has also posted Toby's information in the chat. So the one question from Keisha is, how is self-study verified? So Nolene answered for us. On the GSSA system, it's not verified. We take it on trust. That's why the CPD credits are reasonably low and capped. For SACNASP, you have to upload what you have studied. So thanks, Nolene. As mentioned, a lot of this, especially from the GSSA side, is based on trust. Again, we're all adults. We don't expect you to lie about it. We also don't expect you to attend courses and, just have it playing in the background for fun. The onus is on you. If you really feel strongly about continuing your professional development, you will attend these courses and ensure that you are paying attention and you actually get something out of it. It's worth your time to pay attention to these things. All right, are there any more questions? Not as yet.
Hello?
Yes, Nomonde.
Yes. I just wanted to ask if you are part of the Northern Cape GSSA, for example, the activities that we do there, do they also contribute to the main GSSA? And can we add
Yes.
them as part of our CDP points?
Yes, absolutely. So any of our branches and divisions, those courses, and I'll go through the GSSA system, also how to log those. But so those courses should be uploaded to the SACNASP website. If they are not, if you're logging through SACNASP and you don't find the course there, please get in touch with me, and I will get that course uploaded for you. If you're doing it through the GSSA, it's much easier to add that course yourself. Does that answer your question?
Yes. And then just to add on to the self-study part, does it have to be like geology or earth science related, or if you, let's say, branch out to something a bit different, can you still add it there, or it's strictly earth sciences?
So maybe while I have Nolene here, you can correct me if I'm wrong. For SACNASP, I believe it needs to be science related. For the GSSA system, we allow a category actually for, learnings that are outside your specific, your current work path, but still related to your career journey, if that makes sense. So for example, if you need to learn Spanish to learn Spanish on the job and you're taking an external course for that will count as your professional development. But if you are learning Spanish to go on holiday, not really.
Yeah.
Nolene, is that correct? SACNASP, I don't know if you can claim for external courses that don't relate to your field from SACNASP.
Correct, Nat. I think we are talking about our continuous professional development, so it should relate to that.
Can I just give an example? Let's say you are a geologist, you study geology, and you're doing data analysis, for example, so you can use it in your field because, let's say in the workplace, they do use a lot of software and a lot of data. So is that something that doesn't necessarily relate to your field anymore? Or is
No,
it still a part of it?
Yeah. Nomonde, if you're taking a data analysis course, it's very important, I think, in our field in general these days, in the industry. So definitely would count towards your professional development, yes.
Thank you.
No problem. Victoria, I see you have a question. Any advice on which route to follow to claim CPD points, SACNASP or GSSA? As I said, it is entirely up to you, but we will go through the GSSA system now. And I want to say personally or unbiased, it is a lot easier to go through the GSSA system just because we've tailored it more to activities that we undertake in the geosciences, and it's much easier to actually log. And there's a lot of trust through the GSSA. We are a voluntary organization, so we're not able to monitor you entirely, but we'll go through the auditing process in a minute. But it generally is, from my perspective, easier to go through the GSSA system. Tamara, where can we find additional SACNAS CPD verified courses not advertised on the GSSA site? On SACNAS sites, you only see courses after verified. So you will see, if you are a member of the GSSA, you will receive our newsletter that goes out and advertising the GSSA courses for the year. Same with SAIMM. If you're a member of SAIMM, you'll receive those emails. Alternatively, these courses are usually advertised on the website. I definitely know for the GSSA website, our courses are on there. Same with SAIMM. You just have to go and look there. And as I mentioned, if you find a course from another organization that you can't find listed on the SACNASP site, you are welcome to contact us or contact the organizers to get the SACNASP, to get it verified on SACNASP. Yes, so on SACNASP website, you mostly see only courses after verified. Yes, that's for GSSA courses. Your SACNASP courses are generally pre-verified because they need to advertise it that way, but you will see them after they are verified. But there should be any course that you do through the GSSA, definitely GSSA, SAIMM, SAIEG, those all should be available on the SAIMM website. Sorry, the SACNASP website. And if they are not, if you don't find them there, you just need to contact the organizers and we will have a look for you. All right, another question. Under Category 1, CPD credits captured automatically, even if one is not a member of the GSSA organization, specifically for GSSA short courses that one attends. No. So again, you automatically will get the credit with your certificate, but you still need to log it. So whether it's SACNASP system or the GSSA system, you still personally have to log that. We are not doing that in the background to basically do it all for you. That's why these systems are set up so that you're able to manage it yourself and log all these points as you go along. All right, another question from Victoria. I have registered for a PhD in geography. Will this attract credits, and will you show us how to log this under self-study? So for SACNASP, it depends if you're, I want to say registered, how you're registered on SACNASP. Victoria, if you want to unmute and just let me know, are you registered as a professional geoscientist?
So yes, sorry, you don't have the background. Yes, I'm registered as a professional natural scientist. Yeah, I have been for many years. I'm quite a mature person, and I've decided to go back to studying at this stage. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say then definitely it would count, and yeah, this would be logged under self-study on completion of your PhD. So either with SACNASP or GSSA. Yeah, I'll show you if we have some time at the end. I'll actually show you on the GSSA website where to log this. But yeah, I think it will definitely count, even if it's geography. It's not necessarily geoscience. Again, maybe Nolene, you can correct me if I'm talking nonsense.
No, when you're good.
Cool. All right, there are no more questions just yet. I think if you want to take a 5-minute break, grab another coffee or something like that, let's just pause there and we will be back at 10:45, let's say. 8 minutes, if my math is correct.
Nat?
Yes, Nolian. Sorry, I was finding my screen.
Oh, and I thought you'd gone to get coffee. I see my next meeting's on Teams, so I will stay logged in but muted. If something goes pear-shaped, just send me a WhatsApp and I'll get us back into the meeting. With your
Low
power.
stress. Thank you.
Okay.
I still have power for now. I think I'm good.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Alrighty, let's get back into it. I hope everyone grabbed some coffee, maybe a snack, To get through this, I do see we have another question from Fiona McDonald. Does attending or presenting at international conferences attract CPD points? Absolutely. So it'll fall under different categories, but attending conferences for SACNASP definitely under category 1, and then for presenting you actually get you'll get contribution for knowledge. You'll get credits for knowledge contribution under the GSSA brand. So I think you may actually get a couple of extra points under GSSA, but we will go through that now. All right, another question from Lazan. As what should I register if I'm no longer a student but still need to obtain 1 year work experience to be able to register as a professional scientist? Or is it best to wait another year before I register? It depends, Lazan. It's okay. You need to obtain your 1 year work experience. It depends on where you're sitting or if you are able to register now as a candidate. As a candidate, it's always good. If you register as a candidate, it's always good to have a potential mentor in the workplace, a mentor in place, because you do need to register and log all of your activities and show that you have gone through that work experience with that person at your workplace. It's entirely up to you, but if you are a practicing geologist, you should be registered with SACNASP. You're currently a junior geologist on a mine. Yeah, so I would recommend that you can register as soon as you can as a candidate. If you would prefer to wait to register as a professional, you'll still need to prove that work experience. So it's entirely up to you on that. All right, so let us move on. So CPD for the GSSA. So your SACNASP registered GSSA members can choose to record your points on this GSSA or SACNASP system. As I mentioned, they'll be mutually recognized by the other organization, but not automatically. So there'll be something that you'll have to do to ensure that they are registered correctly. So how? Again, once you have logged your points on one system, it's not going to automatically appear on the other system. We cannot simply siphon off the information from the GSSA site or vice versa. There are these minor matters around protection of personal information and other cybersecurity issues that get in the way generally. So again, these systems are completely different in the way they allocate points. If a member, we've been through this before, each system is a standalone structure and a combination of the two is not allowed. So as I mentioned earlier, the benefits of the GSSA system, where SACNASP system is a generic system catering to the needs of the entire range of natural scientists. The GSSA system is specific to the needs of geoscientists, so people who are employed or looking to be employed in the minerals, metals, and related industries. The GSSA system is benchmarked against other international geoscience systems. The GSSA is a founder member of the GGPG, which is an initiative to promote global geoscience professionalism and to provide benchmarks in the standards of CPD systems. So, for example, Geosciences Canada, AusIMM, and if you are compliant with them, you're compliant with us, which means you're compliant with SACNASP. So, these can be used by GSSA members wherever they live or work. It doesn't rely on GSSA content only, specifically around the unemployed and retrenched people looking for work. So this is where the GSSA system really comes into play. We have an MOU in place with SACNASP for mutual recognition of CPD points, and they're on the process of developing an MOU for academics. So as I mentioned, we are developing MOUs with all of the local, regional, and international geoscience organizations so that those CPD points can be recognized on our system. The GSSA system is based on professional best practice and a moral or ethical obligation. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're all adults, so what you log is on you, and we trust that what you log will be the correct information. So it's not based on points. The GSSA system is not necessarily based on points credited for some or other activity, but more based on the time spent doing professional development activities. So as mentioned, GSSA members not currently required to log CPD points, but this is in your best interest to log them. If you are a member, a fellow, or a chartered geologist with the GSSA, you do need to log your CPD points. So good governance requires that it's subject to annual audits by both the GSSA and SACNASP. These points are based upon activities called professional development hours, or PDH. 1 hour of professional development activity will be converted to CPD points on a variable scale. So it's principle-based guidance. So it's based on guidance, not rules. The GSSA CPD cycle has been operational since 2014. So our current cycle is concurrent with SACNASP cycle of 5 years. So from April 2022 to March 2027 at the moment. The CPD GSSA system comprises of 4 categories as opposed to the SACNASP's 3. The members are encouraged, not obligated, to collect points across the spectrum as possible. Annual objective of 60 CPD credits or 300 credits over the SACNASP 5-year cycle. So these are our categories: formal learning, knowledge contribution, self-directed study, and professional practice. We will start with formal learning. So these include things that I've just answered previously: attendance of a formally structured course, seminar, conference, workshop, or field trip. So for SACNASP, it is highly recommended that in each 5-year cycle there is at least one SAM codes course or workshop. This is for SACNASP and for GSSA, sorry. So the SAM codes workshops are very important to the organization. So 1 PDH equates to 1 CPD for the GSSA. So it's a little bit easier to monitor, also to understand. A full day course will attract 8 CPD points, i.e. 8 hours, and a half day course would attract 4 points, and so on. So additionally, if this is a tested activity, the CPD points would be weighted 1.5 times to recognize the additional effort required to study and pass the test. So if you have a test, if it is a tested activity, the points will actually be allocated a bit higher. So this does not apply to attendance at university undergraduate lectures. So again, CPD only kicks in after your first qualification. So attending lectures during varsity does not count at this point for your undergraduate career. So these activities are not confined to the GSSA organized courses. So any relevant learning activities may be applicable, which are related to geoscience knowledge or skills provided by a third party. So there are a couple of examples here: international events, formal structured in-house training or conferences, e-learning, online courses or webinars, live streaming events, and correspondence courses. These technical courses are function related. So these would be geocongress, precious metals workshops, things like that, a drilling course. Your non-technical courses are subject to abuse, so often require explanation and motivation, and will generally be queried on audit. So we need to just ensure that these under formal learning, they are technical or geoscience related courses. Non-technical courses, which focus on specific scenarios that we may face, include financial evaluation courses, the MPRDA or mining and exploration related law, CPD or professionalism, geoethics, and job related language or software courses. That was the question that came up earlier. Software courses that are related to your function that a geologist might face. So these are our current, this is our current calendar of events for the year. This is what you receive as a GSSA member. You can also see all of these events on the website. A lot of these are offered as free events. So please have a look at those, attend them where you can. But yeah, it's always good to have a look at the beginning of the year, which courses you would like to attend, and approach, if you are working, approach your company from the beginning to just put it on their radar that these are the courses you would like to attend for your professional development. So you get CPD points for attending an event, as well as more CPD points for presenting at an event. So we do encourage our members to get involved at any one of these events. If there is one of these events here that you feel you may be interested in participating in as a presenter, please get in touch with me and we can get it set up for you. So for postgraduate study, we have special dispensation, same with where the SACNASP will give you your 5 points for a postgrad degree. This, for the GSSA, will give you the points once off in your year of graduation. So 30 for honors, 60 for your MSc, and 90 for your PhD. So we also have formal internship programs on application. So we often have internships that obviously you are attending or you are going through as a young graduate. So as an example, your 6-month internship would probably get you about 35 CPD points and so on. But this will be calculated when you log this. The GSSA does not accredit specific courses, so any applicable course can be included in the GSSA formal learning event list by the course coordinator. So these include university enterprise courses. The course coordinator logs the course, and delegates claim the relevant number of PDH and CPD points through the GSSA website. The GSSA does not charge to add courses. So if you are attending an additional course at a university, not necessarily as a student, these courses can be added to the GSSA site to be logged accordingly. So although the GSSA does not validate courses, they do audit a sample of the courses annually. So if a member is selected for the audit, they then may be asked to prove the relevance of the course, especially the non-technical courses. So any course that you do load onto the GSSA website, again, it's based on a lot of trust, and you may be subject to audit at any point. But we do understand that a lot of these courses are not accredited, but they still count towards your professional development. So for the GSSA, if you see your course is not listed, you need to contact that course coordinator to add it to the list, or you can actually log onto the GSSA website and manually add the course and relevant details yourself. That is one of the biggest differences between GSSA and SACNASP. SACNASP, your course has to be there for you to be able to claim points against it. For the GSSA, if it is not listed on the list of courses that is available, you can actually add it yourself as long as you have all the details. Again, if you encounter any problems, contact us at the GSSA, and we will just ask that you provide the course name and brief outline, the location and the dates, and the course coordinator and the contact details. So proof of registration for these courses is not based on registration, but by the certificate issued by the course organizer or original course program. So the course participants are encouraged to keep your certificates of attendance where supplied, otherwise any relevant documentation. I know it happens a lot. You receive your certificate from a GSSA course, it gets lost in your email inbox, and you don't see it for the next 3 years until you need to upload it, So the proof of attendance is not based on registration. You need that certificate. And there is a place on the GSSA website to upload these certificates. And obviously a certificate is required for examinable courses, which lead to additional points, the ones that have tests involved. Moving on to, sorry, I'm just going to pause and see if we have any questions here. We do. Quite a few. Okay. So international conference provides CPD points, but they do not appear on the SACNASP CPD record. How can I log them? So for that, Jasmina, you will need to contact, for the international course, you'll need to contact the course coordinator and then get that information through to SACNASP for them to load on to the SACNASP system. The note. So to be clear, non-compliance does not result in automatic deregistration, but the member is given a chance to redeem themselves by proving. Yes. So if you haven't kept up for a while, I understand it happens. So you lagging a bit behind, SACNASP will contact you and say, listen, you really need to catch up on your points. And you can go back and log the points that you see you have missed or you haven't logged yet. But then if you still don't have enough points, then you just need to show that you are committed to improving that going forward. So you need to have a plan to play a bit of catch up there with SACNASP. So you're right, Leonard. Non-compliance does not result in an automatic deregistration. No. So Voni, nice to see you. In the previous cycle, we were all able to log CPD points on the GSSA site and just transfer the report to SACNASP, which was acceptable for the full 25 points. Is this still possible? As you mentioned, that one site can be used for the entire cycle. Can the same process be followed? Yes, correct. So if you log everything on SACNASP, you can get a report there to be provided to the GSSA when necessary. Same with the GSSA. If you log everything on the GSSA, I'll show you also, you just export that report and upload it to the SACNASP website. So if you currently have points logged on SACNASP and other points logged on GSSA, do we need to cancel them on one and ensure all of them are logged on the other, a single entry and cycle? So I just need to, I'll follow up on that one for you, Voni. If you have logged on both, it may be the case that you need to go with the one you started with, but I will get back to you on that question. I will answer that for all of the delegates to have. I don't think you'll need to cancel them, but you may just need to consolidate them, pick one and carry on with one. It depends how far in you are, but yeah, let me double check on that for you. Alrighty, let's move on to the next section then, knowledge contribution, the next category, sorry. All right, so the FORC on knowledge contribution, this includes the preparation and presentation of material contributing to professional development. So this includes time spent on preparing and presenting formal or informal events, leading field trips, writing, publishing, reviewing papers, reviewing theses, and formal mentoring and things like that. This also includes you as a postgraduate demonstration or teaching assistant duties. So this does not include day job activities. For example, you cannot claim under knowledge contribution if you teach or lecture for a living. So that's just the differential there. So the time and effort and study involved is suitably rewarded. So one professional development hour would attract 3 CPD points. There's no maximum CPD for this category. So contributors will receive the full benefit here. And this is where through the GSSA system, you can actually acquire many or most of your CPD points through this activity because we don't have it capped. So this is where we encourage knowledge contribution. So yeah, this includes presenting at your conferences. So you would receive points for attending the conference under our first category, and then contributing as a presenter, you'll receive knowledge contribution points here. So for presentation, your guidance is 5 hours of preparation per hour of new lecture, of a new lecture. As an example, if you're giving the same lecture or presentation on a repeat basis in a year, for example, then 1 to 2 hours of preparation will go into that as a repeat lecturer. So presenters should keep copies of lectures and course programs or certificates of presentation just for audit purposes. So you'll just keep your copy of your lecture and your course program in case you are audited in that cycle. For a conference presentation, this is okay. So this one is just a normal presentation. For a conference presentation, again, 5 hours of prep per hour of presentation. You get certain points, and then secondary authors on that presentation will get 2 hours of preparation per hour of presentation. These are just some examples, but you'll see them as you log them on the site. They will automatically be calculated for you. Knowledge contribution for writing a paper. So this is published in a recognized peer-reviewed journal. So as the primary author, you will get 1 professional development hour per page, which is 500 words a page. So as an example, An author publishing a 5,000 word paper could claim 10 professional development hours, which is equivalent to 30 CPD credits. And as a subsequent author, it's 0.5 professional development hours per page. So this does not include time spent on the research that is done. So this is claimed elsewhere. So this will be claimed under, now let me just go back quickly. This will be claimed most likely under formal learning. Oh, no, sorry. Your self-directed study or informal learning. Or professional practice. You can probably choose there. So for publishing a book, it's similar story, depends on the hours that go into that book. Again, does not include time spent on the research for that book. All right. So as knowledge contribution also counts when you are supervising postgrad students in an honorary unpaid position, i.e. not as a paid member of the faculty. So if you are in industry and you're contributing to the supervision of a student, you can claim these hours. So this is the special dispensation once off in the year of the graduation of that student. We also have our formal mentoring programs. So for us, as I mentioned earlier, we have just launched our first shift program. So if you are a mentor there, you'll be able to claim these points. SACNASP, we are still waiting for them for their official candidate mentorship program. So any of these, the WIMSA ones, the Bridge the Gap program, SIIM, etc., will all count towards this. As well as formal company or university programs. You just need to provide your logbook of your meetings and you will get the credits that are allocated to you. I'm having a look at Victoria. I had another question there. Are there any exemptions for inactivity due to ill health for part of a cycle? Yes, I believe there are, Victoria. Within the SACNASP exemptions, I think if you have an extended illness, that is covered under that. So obviously, if you have a valid reason, I don't think anyone's going to come after your registration. All right, so moving on to self-directed study or informal learning. So this is not a formal or structured activity. So 1 hour of self-directed study or informal learning would attract 0.25 CDP points for each hour spent on the activity. This activity is subject to an annual limit of 80 hours or 20 CPD credits. So it doesn't matter how many papers you read or whatever the case may be, you will be capped at a maximum of 80 hours or 20 CPD GSSA CPD credits. So these activities include informal geoscience related lectures or field trips such as the WIMSA or the WITS Geotalks, GSSA lunchtime lectures, SAIMM webinars, GSSA branch lectures. So that will include your Northern Cape branch lectures, not necessarily events. The events will count under formal learning. Alex du Toit memorial lectures, the OGG lectures that the guys in the Western Cape run, etc. So reading journal articles, personal research. So this is your research for paper and presentations. So these are the points that you will claim for all the research, right? So you'll get your points for publishing your paper under a knowledge contribution, but all the time you spent on the research for this, you will be able to claim under self-directed study and informal learning. So this also includes viewing online presentations, so anything technical or specialist YouTube channels and things like that. So for the GSSA, these activities are not auditable. So you do not need to provide a list of journal articles read or your websites visited. We do trust that you have read what you say you have read and things like that. So yeah, we know we can't get you to prove all of those things again. You could, play a lecture online and just let it play and run away. But again, it's up to you to ensure that you're actually using your time wisely. And as mentioned, it's a maximum of 20 CPD points there. And then for professional practice, that is our last category for the GSSA. So CPDs would be awarded on the basis of 8 professional development hours of this activity being equivalent to 1 CPD credit. So you get 10 CPD credits under professional practice per year. And again, many of these activities are not auditable, but they include various professional activities and any skill sets that enhance your CV. So these this is a list of acceptable activities, but it's not limited to even writing SOPs or relevant articles for non-technical journals, company newsletters or websites. So again, we understand if you're site-based, it's very difficult it can be very difficult to claim points, but even if you're contributing to writing SOPs and things like that, this is what you can claim for. So taking part in internal workshops or career days, community upliftment, attending relevant local or international trade shows, expos or events such as electromining, mining in Daba, etc. And then being on the organizing committee of relevant conferences, courses or workshops, actively contributing to one or more applicable statutory or professional organizations, committees, branches or councils, and then time spent on informal mentoring and being mentored. So it actually helps to volunteer to be a part of one of these organizations, such as myself. I'm a voluntary member of the GSSA, and this is where you are able to claim points under professional practice. So under significant skill sets, so developing applicable soft skills. So you would have seen on our events list there, we do have an essential skills course coming up in July. So these include business skills, interpersonal skills, language skills, general software courses that are not necessarily for the mining industry, on-the-job activities beyond your routine. So, for example, in the exploration industry, we are often sent on to four-wheel driving courses, first aid courses, fire rescue. So all of that, whether you're on a mine or on an exploration site, or even in an office scenario, if you are the first aider or fire marshal, you can claim points under that. So, and courses which are also not geoscience related or functional in character. So this can include an MBA as part of your professional practice. All right. So this is just a list. It's a nice breakdown of the GSSA's CPD categories. It's just a nice summary of what I have here. This presentation will be shared on the YouTube website, and we will share this presentation to the attendees today. So, and this information is also available on the website. All right. We have another question. Will knowledge sharing sessions at schools be considered as part of possible career discussions? So I would put that probably under not knowledge sharing, but professional practice. So for example, here, participating in career days and things like that. So you're not, if you're talking at a school, it would probably be able to be claimed under professional practice, if that answers your question. Unless it's actually, I'm not sure if you'll be lecturing to school students. If it's a lecture where you're actually teaching the kids or teaching the students about something geological, you may actually be able to claim that under knowledge sharing. All right, so for the GSSA, these are your objectives over the year. This is also available on the site. I'll show you what it looks like there now, but some of these are capped. You'll see this knowledge contribution. We have no maximum for the GSSA. It's uncapped entirely, so you can contribute to as many CPD points in this category as you like. Again, you'll see some of these are weighted a little bit differently. As I mentioned, for formal learning, if you are writing a test for that particular course, you'll get a 1.5 weighting there. Self-directed study and learning, because these are not auditable, that's why they're weighted quite they're weighted lower. So we obviously can't ensure, that you've read what you said you read and things like that. But this is essentially the breakdown. You need 110 points for that year. maximum points a year. So you need 300 points over a 5-year cycle, which is really quite doable if you look at it that way. All right. So these are just some examples of the types of things that a geologist based in the field or in remote areas might do to log the professional development hours that don't require attending formal learning events. It's actually much easier now that a lot of these courses are online. So again, we do understand that being field-based and things like that, it's difficult to keep up with your CPD. But under formal learning, we've got online courses or webinars, knowledge contribution. You can write a paper or present your project for even at your internal camp or camp workshop. We do also encourage, especially the guys that are in the field on our African exploration projects, we do have the African Exploration Showcase coming up in November. If you're able to present a little bit, you don't have to share confidential information, but if you're able to share a bit about that project, you can get points there under knowledge contribution as well as formal learning if you attend the conference. So self-directed study, so informal lectures, reading of relevant journal articles, personal research, and online presentations. And obviously, a lot of these presentations are recorded, so you don't necessarily have to watch them while on site. In terms of professional practice, you are developing your related soft skills. We have changed the way we are referring to these skills now. We're not calling them soft skills anymore. They're actually being referred to as essential skills, as you know, that they need to be. So the writing of articles for GeoBulletin, as an example, or for the GSSA website or Facebook, informal mentoring and organizing or leading or taking part in internal workshops, social environmental upliftment activities, and things like that. All right, so some examples. Some examples here. Just some examples of how these points can be allocated to you. So you can write a paper and get 30 points. You can do research for that paper and get 20 points. So preparation of the presentation, 9 points for knowledge contribution. Attendance at the conference, you'll get 8 points per day. The GSSA generally allows presenters free registration at our courses, so that helps a lot. And then, so that in total, just for that one paper and presentation, you will get 67 CPD points, which is more than you require in a year. Okay, so again, for GSSA, I spoke a little bit about the SACNAS, but for the GSSA, people who are unemployed or have been retrenched or boarded are not exempt, but considerations will be made depending on your situation. If you are employed or retrenched or are boarded, you are still encouraged, if you are able to, attend our free events as possible. So the student members for the GSSA, the system is designed so that you can give your time and knowledge and still earn CPD without spending money. That's our goal at the GSSA. So what you can do if you are retrenched, unemployed, or a student or boarded, you attend the free online webinars, courses, lunchtime lectures, volunteer at a formal mentoring program. You can become members of the SAM Codes committees or working groups. You can assist in organizing or participating in GSSA activities. So the meetings committee, which is our events committee, a social media subcommittee, the branches and divisions that were mentioned a little bit earlier. You can assist with GSSA website, Facebook, and GeoBulletin contributions. And you can write or review technical papers for the South African Journal of Geology or other journals or related conference publications. For MSc or PhD students, to keep your CPD points up, you can write up a paper based on your research and publish it in the SAJG. Present your results at an event or lunchtime lectures. You can sign up as a mentor. You can sign up for demonstrating or teaching assistant duties, attend our online webinars, courses, etc. Become members of the SAM Codes committee. And again, the organizing, participating in GSSA activities, and so on. How do we apply, Mohammed? How do we apply to join GSSA as volunteers? You can email me. I'll put my email in the chat box again. You can just drop me an email and let me know what you're interested in assisting with, and what your capacity might be, and we can see where we can slot you in. So let me know if you'd like to help on the social media side or the event side or anything like that. So full exemption for the GSSA CPD system are members who are fully retired and non-practicing. So again, you don't have to keep up your CPD points if you are retired, but a lot of members do like to. So partial exemption, so your 2/3 of CPD requirements. So members who are on special leave, for example, maternity, paternity, or parental leave, and extended sick leave. So as mentioned earlier, there are considerations for extended illnesses. So retired members who are not working or doing work of a geoscientific nature are partially exempt. So those who are not consulting or writing competent person reports or lecturing. Other special circumstances are also acceptable on a case-by-case basis upon application and motivation. All right, there's a question from Monica. If I want to be part of the reviewer, who should I contact as an experienced geoscience reviewer? So for the SAJG, I would recommend you get in contact with, let me just find his email quickly, Barrister Smith. Or you know what, Monica, just email me also. Just send all your requests through to me and I will divert you to the correct people that you need. So that email address I just posted there, you're welcome to contact me on that. So the obligations, as the GSSA obligations are so the GSSA as a whole, the obligations as a society are for us to provide CPD training opportunities with our online portal, send you annual reminders for your membership. The SACNASP obligations are also to provide training opportunities on online CPD points portal, and also send out annual reminders to membership and auditable compliance. So it is the member's responsibility to log your professional development hours or CPD credits on the system of their choice. Neither the GSSA, SACNASP, neither GSSA nor SACNASP is responsible for recording or confirming a member's credits. So as I said, you can attend all the courses you like. If you don't log them, yourself, no one is going to know that those are your points that you've completed. So for the GSSA side, as I mentioned, you download your CPD certificate from the GSSA website and upload it to SACNASP annually during April. The onus is on each member to fulfill this obligation. So let's have a look. How do we do it? Through the GSSA. We log onto the website, gssa.org.za, go to, and this is a little bit outdated, sorry. You will go to log in and you will update your personal information. Sorry, I will walk you through this. This slide is just referring to some of the older, some of the stuff on the older website. But okay, so that's how you do it on GSSA. On SACNASP, you log into the SACNASP website, log into portfolio, and you upload your CPD report as evidence of compliance. So I'll show you now through the GSSA portal. You will get this report annually on the 31st. You will download this report annually on the 31st of March, and then you will upload it to SACNASP. So this is what the new website looks like, gssa.org.za. What you will do is you will log in to the account and you will go down to your applications. You see we have your account, your category change. This is this is the membership category. Any payments that need to be paid, and your fourth application is your My CPD activities. So I'm starting at the bottom of our menu here, just as a reminder. It has the guide here for you. You can read through it. Again, it reiterates the aim of the program, which is to achieve 300 credits over the 5-year cycle. So that's 60 credits per year, although this is flexible. So the total at the end of the cycle is what counts. So if you get bunch of points in 1 year and you're really lacking in 1 year, in the following year, you are able to average those out as you go along. So again, the CPD year runs from the 1st of April to 31st of March. So we are nearing the end of the year in this particular cycle, but the cycle ends in March 2027. So you still have a year to play a bit of catch up. And again, the categories here are listed and described for you and shows you how many hours you can get or how many points you can get per hour. But this is all available on the site. Again, these are the limits for the annual limits for the GSSA system. Again, you'll see knowledge contribution has no cap for the annual limits. If we move up, this is how you will log. Okay, we're just going to go into an example of how you would log a course as an example. So you get to pick your category here, your formal learning, professional practice, knowledge contribution, or self-directed study, and it will open the page that you will be able to log. So this is where the GSSA portal is a bit different to SACNASP. So with SACNASP, if you go into the equivalent page within SACNASP, it'll pop up with a list of relative activities that you can search the course that you attended, and if it pops up, you can click on it and it will load for you. Well, you'll have to upload your certificate also, but it'll load for you. Here with the GSSA 1, you will put in your activity title and you can actually use the little magic wand there. And if someone has already loaded that course for the GSSA, it will auto-populate for you. Then you just need to double check that the information is correct and it was the correct year and things like that, and then it will auto-generate for you. If it is not there, that's not a problem. You will then be the first one to load that course. So you will need a relevant title, a brief description of the course. This is where you click if the activity included a final written exam, which you passed. Remember, that will allow for 1.5 CPD points if it was a tested activity. Your start date, the end date, your total hours attended. So that will calculate for you into your CPD points, and then your activity, your URL, if you have it, if it was a webinar or something you attended. Then we require some supporting documents from you, which includes those exam results, the brochure, the program or certificate or agenda of that particular event, and then you save it. Easy as that. And then when you go into your list, this will be your list specifically. You will see all of your recorded activities since your program began. So you have a number of activities listed here and your credits automatically calculated for you. So then when you go into your snapshot, you will see your progress for the year, your progress this year, and your progress this cycle. So you will be able to see where you are sitting at the time of this year. So then when you want to go and now download this certificate for you to upload to SACNASP, all you need to do is go to download, and you can download the SACNASP CPD report. So it will download as a PDF. You can also, for your information, download all your activities as PDF or TSV, but for uploading to SACNASP, this is the one you will need, and it'll just be a single page PDF that will have a summary for you. So it'll be the summary report, pretty much based on your snapshot. It doesn't go into all the detail unless you are audited by SACNASP at a point. Then they will be able to come and have a look at which courses, or we'll need to provide that information as to which courses were correctly attended. And so now what you will do with that report is you will log on to CPD, into the scientist portal, and you will go to your portfolio. Again, first of all, you'll stick in your registration and your ID number, and you'll get to your portfolio. You'll go to your CPD portfolio, there, and you will stick in your field of practice, and you will note here which CPD system you are using. So it says there, if you are not following the SACNASP sorry, let me just go to the side of the screen first. You'll go into your portfolio and you'll say change CPD system when you want to change if you're not using the SACNASP system. So you'll go into geological science as your field of practice. You will select this approved CPD system, which in our case is the Geological Society of South Africa. And you can add a note there. You're just saying you're changing your CPD portfolio to the GSSA CPD system. All right. So then you select the year that you want to update, and then this is where you add your certificate. So add CPD accreditation from the VA activity. So again, you'll stick in your membership number here. You'll go from the cycle. Yeah, I think you can add them. You can probably add the same CPD certificate each year. So as you go along each year, you'll download your certificate from the GSSA website and upload it in the particular year that you are referring to. So the SACNASP credits claimed will be listed under there, and your evidence will be the approval letter. So that will be your form that you upload there. Okay, so then you just need to ensure on the SACNASP website that you have 5 credits per year within there. And again, your certificate should show up here under your SACNASP. And then if you will receive your 5 credits per year if you update your portfolio with the recognized CPD system. So under your dashboard, it should all show up here as compliant and complete. So for the GSSA members who have selected to record their CPD credits on the SACNASP system, what you will then do on the SACNASP side is download your CPD certificate from SACNASP before the 31st of March 2026. You will attach it to your CV and send it to the GSSA when or if requested. So again, the GSSA isn't, if you are logging through SACNASP, the GSSA isn't going to come for you to ensure that everything is compliant. However, if there is an audit and they request this information for you, they will request your CPD certificate from SACNASP as well as your CV. So again, the choice to log your credits through the GSSA or through SACNASP system is your choice. Compliance with one system will be deemed to be compliance with the other. They are 2 completely separate systems and are different in their points allocation. Again, one is not necessarily easier than the other, just different. And the GSSA system does lie more in favor of, it's more tailored to the geological sciences. So the GSSA system is geoscience specific. It is required, your SACNASP points, your CPD points are required to renew your SACNASP registration, and your CPD points are required for GSSA charter status. So CPD is a self-directed process and is the individual's personal responsibility. To reiterate, neither your company or the professional body is responsible for providing or paying for your CPD activities. So neither SACNASP or the GSSA is responsible for logging, keeping track of or submitting your CPD credits. Although it is in the company's best interest to obviously have an educated, trained workforce, the GSSA or SACNASP cannot force your employer to do anything. Although SACNASP has written a letter addressed to all employees explaining the benefit of CPD and requesting their cooperation. I just need to find where this is located, and I think it will be sent through to you again with the presentation afterwards. Voni, so is it 2026 or 2027? So for this year, Voni, you can download your certificate after each year, but 2027 is the end of the cycle, yes. Okay, so the mining charter's obligation is to invest in human resource development and to develop on and implement career progression plans. So you need to discuss as a company, as an employer of a company, you need to discuss your CPD program with your company as part of your personal career progression plan. I know most companies these days do require you to have some kind of professional development plan. So include CPD in this. Just ensure that they are aware of what you need as an employee and what you need to get there. Obviously, it's better to get in there, before, or during the budgeting period, just so that you can ensure that the things you would like to attend that do cost money are covered under that. All right, again, so the goal is personal development, not just collecting CPD credits. Just like running up an escalator going down, CPD is an effort and it's seen as a lot of administration. But remember, the goal is personal development as a geoscientist, not just collecting these points. So I think I spoke slightly faster than Tanya did last year, but that is it from me. Again, I put my my email address in the chat box for any questions, and you can contact us at info@geocsa.org otherwise. And you can please just visit the website. It's nice and new and fresh and everything like that. I'm going to just pause here and take a moment to thank our annual sponsors for their contributions. As always, these free events can't happen without them, so we really appreciate their inputs. I can stop here again and also ask if we have any further questions. Please, you can stick up your hand or ask in the chat box, and I'm happy to answer, if I can, those further questions. So I'm going to give it a minute or so, but please feel free to raise your hand if you'd like to, and we can go from there. Okay, thanks. How many points do you get for watching past events on YouTube? Again, it depends on the hours spent for the GSSA. It's how long that course is, so you can claim per hour. For SACNASP, you will be able to claim those points depending on so say for instance, well, obviously it's an online course on SACNASP that should be loaded as a SACNASP course, and you should be able to claim those points post-event, definitely. Thanks. You will receive a copy of these slides. You'll receive a PDF of these slides. I will send it through to you. Well, you'll probably get it from Kate as soon as we can get it to you. No problem. Gents, thanks for your attendance. We really appreciate it. I'll leave it open for another minute or so. Again, if you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will assist you along the way. I participated in various courses in the past. Will these obtained CPD points be lost? No, not at all, Lizanne. If you've attended in the past, as I said, you're welcome to go back and retroactively log the points. Obviously, it'll only count. You can't log them prior to this current cycle with SACNASP. However, you can log them with the GSSA. So they're not lost. Definitely not lost. They just need to be logged. Where do we download certificates for attending courses? Sibusiso, you should, if you have attended a course, especially a GSSA course, you should have received an email with that certificate. If you haven't received that certificate, you can reach out to us also. I'm just going to put that in the chat box there. If please don't come to us and ask for all of your certificates for the past 5 years. It's not feasible for us to do all of that. It really is your responsibility to save those certificates as you receive them. But if you are having any issues, please just reach out to info@gssa.org.za, and we will see what we can do for you. So if it's in the past year or so, we'll definitely be able to resend those certificates to you. So just reach out and we'll see what we can do. But please, we can't have everyone writing in asking for your certificates for the past 5 or 10 years. Alrighty, I think I am off the hook. I'm going to stop the recording. Again, please reach out if you have any further questions. Okay, there is a further question here. I attended GSSA Institute Drilling 5 August 2025. However, I cannot find it on the SAGNAS portal. I will have a look at that. Reese, I'll have a look at that because I can probably load that for you. But give me a little bit of time and I will get that sorted for you, and I'll let you know when it's logged. All right. But please, Reese, also just send me an email for that so I can get it done for you as soon as I can, and you'll be able to log that. All right. Please send me an email.